How's it going, trainers? As we close out Season 13 of the GBL, we've got two cups available. The Great League format that is the Hoenn Cup, along with the Mega Master League. If you missed our Hoenn Cup guide, be sure to check it out to prepare for that cup, but today, we're going to be looking at the best choices for the Mega Master League, so let's get into it. Welcome back, trainers. So the Mega Master League has only appeared once prior, back during the interlude season, so this will be the first time the cup will actually affect your ranking. Now, I'm not going to break down any of the standard Master League Pokemon who are good in this cup. Dialga, Zacian, Melmetal, Mewtwo, you know them all. They're going to be really good, so we don't really want to waste time on that. I will talk about them though when we get to teams. The last time we had the Mega Master League, Mega Gyarados was the big Pokemon of the cup. It has extremely strong stats, a pretty good typing, and you could use either Waterfall for incredibly strong stab water damage, or Dragon Breath to tear through the many dragons of the meta. You could run Mega Venusaur as a good counter to Gyarados, but it would then struggle against the steel types of the meta like Metagross and Dialga, so not a perfect strategy. This time around though, we've got a lot more Megas to use, so let's discuss the big ones. Starting off, let's talk a bit more about Mega Gyarados. As I said earlier, you can run it with either Waterfall or Dragon Breath depending on your team, but I do think Dragon Breath is generally the best choice, only falling to Fairies, a few Steel types, and Venusaur. But it'll tear through just about everything else, from Dialga to Groudon to Snorlax. It's extremely good. But one of the biggest counters to Mega Gyarados arrived just recently, being Mega Gardevoir. It's the big charmer of the cup, basically functioning like Togekiss, but with legendary level stats. Mega Gardevoir's win rate may not be as impressive as Gyarados', losing to more Steel and Ghost types, as well as Fire, but I'd argue it's even more useful because it beats all the big dragons plus Mega Gyarados itself. You'll definitely want to plan around Steel types though. I think Groudon, Excadrill, and Hoa would be good to pair with this Fairy-type Mega. Now, I do anticipate these being the two most prominent Megas in the cup, but there's still plenty of other choices that do well, including some Steel-type Megas who can take down both of them. Mega Scizor can take down both Mega Gyarados and Gardevoir, being a Steel bug type, and you can actually run it with two different movesets. Either run the weaker but faster charging Fury Cutter along with Iron Head and X Scissor, or the stronger Bullet Punch with X Scissor and Night Slash. Both are good options, with the Fury Cutter moveset doing better against Mega Gyarados, and the Bullet Punch option being stronger against Mega Gardevoir and other fairies. You are very vulnerable to fire along with other steel types though, so like Gardevoir, I think ground types will be great to pair with it. On the bulkier side though is Mega Aggron, who has a tremendously high stat product that rivals the bulky Lugia. Dragon Tail helps you do good chip damage against Gyarados and Dragon types, Heavy Slam will help you deal with Gardevoir and other fairy types, and Meteor Beam is a good coverage move that boosts attack. I think people may overlook Mega Aggron because, well, it's Aggron, but it ditching the rock type for its Mega along with its solid moveset and great defense makes it a really underrated option for the cup, and it's one of the safest picks, I'd argue. Now, looping back to the last Mega Master League, I mentioned that Mega Venusaur was a great pick to counter Gyarados, and that remains true here too, but it can also now be used to counter Gardevoir, similar to Aggron and Scizor, so it's definitely got more utility in that regard, but I also think it's a bit riskier this time around. It'll do great against Kyogre, Zacian, and Xerneas, but there's still a lot of Steel and Dragon types, plus the new Steel Megas I just mentioned, who all crush Mega Venusaur. So while it's still good, I don't think it'll be the best Mega to run unless you really want to tailor your team around it. And lastly, I want to mention Mega Swampert who, yeah, obviously it's great. Swampert's always been really relevant in every PvP league, including the Master League. But now, you pump it full of legendary level stats, and it's even more fit for the Master League. It's spammy and ultra powerful. You'll want to be wary of some of the dragons like Mega Latios, Dragonite, and grass types like Zarude and Mega Venusaur, but outside of them, Mega Swampert demolishes most of the meta, and honestly, I'd say it's one of the best in the cup. Now, there are other good choices for this cup that I haven't gone into detail about, but there's Mega Gengar and Mega Charizard Y, both of which are pretty strong and really spammy. And before we move on, I did want to mention Primals. Primal Groudon and Kyogre are already available to the players who attended the Las Vegas Go Tour Hoenn event, while everyone else will get access to these two during the upcoming global event. Primals work just about the same as Megas, so it's reasonable to assume that they'll be allowed in the Mega Master League, but currently, we don't have any confirmation of this. If they are allowed though, the two of them will be some of the biggest Pokemon in the Cup for sure, and they'll certainly warp the meta around themselves too, so I thought I'd give them a quick mention. After we find out whether these two will be allowed or not, we'll leave a pinned comment down below stating whether they are. But now, onto teams to try out. Up first, we've got Melmetal, Mega Gyarados, and Dialga. This team isn't super new, but it's definitely effective. I think Melmetal will have a lot of utility in this cup, being strong defensively and having great coverage, especially against a lot of the big Megas. Mega Gyarados and Dialga are there to take down the top Fire-type threats to Melmetal like Ho-Oh and Mega Charizard, but you still will want to be wary of Ground types, who I think this team can still handle, but Groudon and Landorus can take it down if you let them farm too much energy. Next up, we've got Zacian, Ho-Oh, and Mega Aggron. Zacian is obviously supremely good for the Master League, we all know that. It'll be perfect for beating Mega Gyarados and most other dragons. And Mega Aggron and Ho-Oh are here to take down other fairies, with Ho-Oh being great against steel types as well. You can also use something like Metagross or Excadrill over Ho-Oh, but those two do have their own strengths and weaknesses. And for our last team, we have Yveltal, Mega Gardevoir, and Metagross. Now normally, I'd put Mega Gardevoir up front for this team, but I do feel like people will be aware of Mega Gyarados and Gardevoir being popular and will plan on putting counters to them in the front. Yveltal isn't the strongest lead out there, but I think it'll do well against a variety of Pokemon in the league, including Metagross, Mega Gengar, Giratina, and more. But you'll still have Mega Gardevoir as a powerhouse against dragons and Mega Gyarados, and Metagross to wall dragons and fairies. Overall, it offers a lot of coverage, and it's a strong team, I'd say. In fact, it might be the one that I try out. But that just about wraps up this GBL guide. As new Megas enter the game, there will definitely be a ton of shifts to this meta. For example, Mega Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Metagross, and Garchomp are sure to be huge players in the meta when they do eventually debut and go. But we hope this guide still gives you a good feel for the Season 13 Mega Master League and a good jumping off point for the future Mega Master League metas. And if you found this guide useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Once again, check out our Hoenn Cup guide if you haven't already. Until next time though, I hope you're all able to reach your goals for Season 13, and best of luck.